Hi everyone! For our field trip, we visited Kota Kinabalu Fish Market, also known as the Kota Kinabalu Central Market. This fish market is located at Jalan Tun Fuad Stevens, Kota Kinabalu, Sabah, and it is situated in the city center near the wet market and tourist area. The purpose of this visit was to observe the types of fish and seafood sold in a local fish market. We also aim to differentiate between products from capture fisheries and tools from aquaculture. In addition, this visit helped us to identify aquaculture system and cultural species available in the market, as well as to understand the value chain of fishery product from producer to consumer. Overall, this field trip allowed us to understand the role and limitation of aquaculture in supporting seafood supply and the local socio-economic sector.
Hello, my name is Foo Ze, and now I'm going to talk about the aquatic species found in Pasar Ikan Kota Kinabalu. A majority of the seafood that we observe come from wild fisheries. There are a multitude of species that was seen, and for the finfish section, we have rock groupers, Indian mackerel, porcupine fish, red snappers, and yellowfin tunas. And finfish, the fishermen also caught a multitude of different crustaceans and mollusks, such as the green spiny lobsters, the green mussels and scallops, and tiger prawns, mantis shrimps, mud crabs, white leg shrimps, and Indian volute. Finally is the cartilaginous fish and cephalopods and others, such as we saw them selling nurse sharks, blue spotted ribbon-tailed ray, sea grapes, and cuttlefish.
Ini laut.
Ya, laut.
Ini kolam.
Kolam.
Oh. Ini
So from the
laut.
video, we can see that through seller information, we are able to find out whether the fishes are from wild caught or aquaculture. And later on, I asked the vendor, how can you tell? He said that wild caught fishes are usually irregular sizes. They come in different sizes, big and small, whereas from aquaculture, they are more uniformly sized.
Aquaculture system that we identified during our trip to the fish market is tank culture, which is this system is a method of raising aquatic animals in controlled environment using tanks instead of open ponds. There are some advantage of using the system, which is it has greater control over environment, higher stocking densities, and reduced water use. But however, this system also have this advantage, which is higher initial investment, increased operational costs, and potential stress on fish. The fishermen use this system to keep the catch alive and fresh at the fish market.
Hello everyone, my name is Eros. For our group's assessment, I will be presenting part D, which is cultured species observed. During our field trip, I focused on identifying which products came from the open sea and which were sourced from aquaculture farms, as well as the reasons behind the variety we saw at the stalls. Starting on our data, we identified a total of 14 distinct marine species from the market. The diversity of the wild-caught section was the most prominent feature of the market. We observed a total of 13 wild-caught species ranging from large pelagics like yellowfin tuna and Indian mackerel to reef species like red snapper, rock groupers, and even more unique catches like the nurse shark and blue spotted ribbon-tailed ray. However, out of all these species, we confirmed only one was a product of aquaculture: the Vietnamese shrimp. This immediately showed us that while the market is diverse, it is still very much a capture-based economy. Let's focus on that single exception, the Vietnamese shrimp. Through our interviews with the vendors, we confirmed that these shrimps were sourced from the intensive aquaculture ponds in Sandakan. We identified them as cultured based on three indicators. First, their high uniformity. Every single shrimp was nearly identical in size, which is a clear sign of a controlled farm harvest. Second, their appearance. They showed the consistent translucent body and white legs typical of these species. And finally, the vendor verification. The sellers confirmed they received this as farm-bred stocks, specifically from Sandakan industrial hubs. Finally, we have to ask, why is aquaculture limited to just one species when we found 13 wild ones? We identified three key reasons for this. First is economic feasibility. In our current local economy in Sabah, it is more cost effective to harvest wild products directly from the sea than to pay for the high overhead cost of land, feed, and pond management involved in aquaculture. Second is our advantageous geolocation. Sabah is uniquely surrounded by the ocean on three sides. This geographic advantage provides easy access to rich fishing grounds, making wild capture the most accessible way to supply the market. And lastly, market dynamics play a huge role as well. There is a very strong local preference for fresh sea catch. This high consumer demand for wild-caught premium fish naturally reduces the shelf space for farm alternatives. In conclusion, our geography and local taste makes a wild capture dominant market, with aquaculture currently serving as a specialized supplement rather than the primary source of supplying to the market.
Aquaculture value chain involves several stages from farm or capture to distribution, market, and consumer. So first, farmer produce and harvest the aquaculture product when they reach the market size. After harvesting, the fish are graded, sorted, and weighted to determine their price. Some fish also processed into seafood product by processor. Next, it will transport by collector and transporter to different market and exported to other country. Then come to the market stage where those products are sold in fish market, supermarket, or through traders. And finally, the product reach consumer for purchase and consumption. The key stakeholders involved is farmer, who grows and harvests high quality aquaculture species. Next, collector. They buy from farm, collect products and prepare it for processing and distribution. Then the processor. They clean, process and package fish. For transporter, they move products along the supply chain and use cold chain system to prevent spoilage and maintaining freshness. Then the aquaculture product reach markets such as fish market, supermarket. Some go directly to the food service sector like restaurant, hotel, where they are transformed into meals. And finally, household. The people purchase and consume products.
Contribution of aquaculture to food supply. Aquaculture plays a major role in meeting the growing global demand for seafood. As the human population increases, while stocks are declining due to overfishing, aquaculture provides an alternative by producing fish, prawns, crabs, and shellfish in controlled environments such as ponds, cages, and tanks. Because production is controlled, farmers can manage feeding, breeding, and water quality to ensure faster growth and higher survival rates. This results a consistent and reliable supply of seafood throughout the year, unlike wild fishing which depends on season and weather condition. Aquaculture also helps improve nutrition and food security, especially in developing countries. Fish is an affordable source of high-quality proteins, omega-3 fatty acids, vitamins, and minerals. This helps reduce malnutrition and support healthy development, especially among children. Contribution of aquaculture to local economy. Aquaculture contributes significantly to local economy development. It creates direct employment opportunities for fish farmers, hatchery workers, and pond managers. Indirect jobs are also created in fish processing factories, transportation service, packaging industries, and fish markets. Small businesses also benefit, such as feed producers, equipment suppliers, ice factories, and cold storage providers. This strengthens the local supply chain and encourages entrepreneurship. Overproduction happens when many farmers harvest their fish at the same time. This often occurs because farmers follow singular breeding cycle or aim to sell during festive season. When a large quantity of fish enter the market at once, buyers have more choices and sellers compete by lowering prices. As a result, farmers are forced to sell at cheaper rates to avoid spoilage. Since fish are highly perishable, this reduces their profit and sometimes causes financial losses, especially for small-scale farmers who depend solely on aquaculture for income. Next, weather and disease outbreak. Natural disasters such as flood, droughts, and storm can destroy fish ponds and cages. Extreme weather can reduce water quality and cause fish mortality. Disease outbreak can spread quickly in crowded farms and wiping out their entire stock. When production decreases suddenly, fish become more scarce in the market. This pushes price up sharply while some farmers benefit from higher prices, and consumers suffer because fish become more expensive. Lastly, seasonal demand. Fish demand changes depending on time and season. During festival, school holiday, and wedding season, demand increases because people hold celebrations and buy more food during this day. However, after this peak season, demand drops significantly. Restaurants reduce orders and households buy less fish. When supply remains high but demand falls, price drops sharply. This creates income instability for farmers because they cannot predict when they will earn more or less.
Next challenge in aquaculture market presents is high entry cost and competition. Starting an aquaculture business requires expensive infrastructure and equipment such as land or water leases, pond construction or tank system, filtration, and fish feed. For those new or small-scale producers, are difficult to enter the market and compete with large farms because they are produce more and sell at lower prices. In comparison, capture fisheries are easier to start and require less investment. In conclusion, the visit to Kota Kinabalu Fish Market provides clear exposure to how fisheries and aquaculture products are marketed to a consumer. Through direct observation, we were able to differentiate between capture fisheries with charred product and aquaculture product based on physical characteristics, supply consistency, and information obtained from vendors. We observed that most seafood and fish products sold in the market came from capture fisheries, while white-lead shrimp was the only aquaculture product found. In addition, although aquaculture products such as tilapia and farm shrimp are produced more consistently, many of these products are usually sold directly to restaurants, supermarkets, or exported to other countries. This explains why only a small amount of aquaculture product is available in the local fish market. Overall, this field trip enhanced our understanding of the aquaculture value chain from production to market distribution and increase our awareness of the role, importance, and limitation of aquaculture in supporting food security and the local economy in Malaysia.